Hello ladies. All right, so today I'm going to show you how to actually put your nail polish strips on. So first things first, you will see that they all come in these packages that look just like this. I am doing It Takes Tucson, which is a really pretty color shifting glitter ombre, but it goes side to side instead of up and down ombre. So really excited about that. So each of these have a little pull tab. So I usually just pull off the little pull tab. You're gonna be able to open this up. And a couple things that you'll need. Technically, the only thing that you need is what's in your package because we have everything. So you have your nail strips, you have your prep pad, and you have a nail file. I really love my glass nail file and my Color Street nail file. So the Color Street nail files you only get for hosting a party with me, but the glass nail files you can get with a $50 purchase. You can get my whole starter kit, which is the nail clips, the glass file, my handy dandy little cuticle pusher, because this is going to be amazing, especially once you get to those thumbnails. You're going to want to use this, which I'll show you in a minute. So you get all of that plus a choosy sample for your to try and kind of practice on before you actually put your nails on, or you can just use it as an accent nail. So first things first too, if your nails are really thin and brittle, couple tips, I do recommend using a base coat. So I love the OPI Nail Envy. So sometimes I will put this on below my polish. Obviously you want to put it on, it's very quick drying, so I usually let it dry for a few minutes. Another little quick tip is I usually do I know it's the daylight right now, but I usually try and do my mani right before bed. That's typically when I find it holds up the best for me, is when I put it on right before I go to sleep, because it gives the nails time to cure overnight. So Color Street is 95% dry and 5% wet. So that 5% that's wet, you know, it's wet nail polish. So it is going to take a minute to cure to your nails. And so that way, you know, if you hit it on something sharp, it's not going to, you know, smudge it, or not necessarily smudge, but rip that polish off. So you do want to give it a little bit of time to cure. So since I am doing these during the day though, I'm just going to make sure that I don't submerge my hands into any sort of lotions or water for a good 30 minutes to an hour after doing my nails. So another thing is you can also use a top coat on these if you want. This is real nail polish, so you can put a top coat on. This is OPI plumping. This is what I recommend for a top coat. Base coat though, I do not recommend this for a base coat, only because it's a little bit oily. So what it does is it'll allow, it won't allow the strips to properly stick to your nails with this base coat. So that's just my little, some ladies don't have issues with it. Me personally, if I put this on below my nail strips will peel off. And that's mainly because our nails have oils, and any oils is going to cause the nail strips not to stick to your nails. So that's just my little 2 cents on that. So another thing going along with the oils in our nails, I also always make sure that I wash my hands, typically with Dawn dish soap, before I get started. And the prep pad is also going to help with that. So typically what I do, and I'm showing you guys pretty much, I'm giving you all the goods, exactly what I do from start to finish. So after I wash my hands, I just take that same paper towel that I use to dry my hands with, and I set it kind of off to the side. It's going to be my little trash compartment. So that way I have a little trash pile. I can just pile it all up and throw it in the trash when I'm done. So first things first, I'm going to remove my little strip, or my nail prep pad. So what this is just an alcohol prep pad. So again, it's just getting all of those oils off of your nails. So you're just going to rub it all over all of your nails before you get started. It's going to get all those oils off of there. To make sure that you're not, when you are touching the strips, you're not transferring a whole lot of oils. Because again, oils equals they don't stick as well. I usually will go ahead and, even though I just washed my hands with Dawn dish soap, I do like to make sure that I rub that on my nails too. So there's a little pull tab at the top here. You're just gonna pull that. You're gonna remove the strips from their little home here. Put that down. So you get 16 double-ended strips in 8 different sizes. So this is what it looks like. They are double-ended, like I said. So I am just gonna peel off the ones that I know fit my nails. So this big one, I will usually sometimes save for my toenails. So if I'm doing a manicure and a pedicure at the same time, I will save those for my toenails. I can usually stretch it to fit my toenail just like this, but you can also put it sideways on your toenail too. That would actually be really cute with this strip. So this one usually fits my thumbnail. Then I know that this one I usually use on my toenails as well. I usually turn them sideways and put them on my toenails. This one fits my pinky. This one fits my, my index finger. This one is for my ring finger, and then I know that either one of these will fit my middle finger. So I just pick one, and then this one again is another one that I can use for my pedicure set. So I have these 3 strips plus this whole pack that I can save and use. Now, let me be clear, Color Street is a one-time use product, meaning that once you open this package, technically you're not supposed to save the strips. And that is mainly just because, like I said earlier, they're 95% dry, 5% wet. So anything that you stick back into this package is not guaranteed the second time around. But I like to try. So typically, once I put it back into the package, I will go ahead and I will tape the top. So I'm gonna show you, I have one over here that I'm just gonna show you really quick. This is one that I previously used. I actually keep mine in the refrigerator, so I tape the top just like you see right here, and then I put it in the refrigerator. So put this in the refrigerator until I'm ready to use it, and then I kind of just leave it. I put it close to my body so it kind of warms up to room temperature while I'm waiting to use them. So that is how I save mine personally. Again, it's not guaranteed to work. So just a little heads up on that. It is, Color Street does not guarantee that saving your strips will work the second time around, but typically I don't have any issues. So I'm just throwing that out there. So I am gonna try and save these. Another thing that you can do if you do have thin, brittle nails is you can double up your strips. And I'm gonna talk about that in a different video. I won't cover that in this one all that much. But you can double up your strips to make them last. Typically, if I'm wearing a solid, it will last me about 7 to 10 days. So not too long, but it still lasts me about 7 to 10 days. If I double it, I can get 2 to 3 weeks out of it. So it almost doubles the length of my mani, doubling up my solids and stuff like that. So, or just wearing 2 layers in general. We also have a clear as day, which I will also cover in a different video that you can have as well. So I'm gonna start, I always start with my pinkies first. So I broke that nail, so don't mind it. So I'm gonna start with my pinkies and work my way in because you wanna do your thumbs last. So first things first, this is your strip. There is you see this purple part right here, you're gonna pull that down, and there's a clear part that protects the front of it. Completely dry though, completely dry. Then you're going to you're gonna separate the white from the silver. So we're gonna separate that, and you're gonna pull that apart. This is the sticky part. So this is where it's going to stick to your fingers. This is why you wanna make sure that your fingers they don't have any oils on them. I'm gonna point the camera down so you can see what I'm doing next. But there's also a little pull tab on the top, which I'm gonna show you when I flip it to the other side so you can see how I get double ends out of these. So I'm gonna pull this down, and I am going to lay it. Oop, make sure you can see, sorry. Should probably go like that. I'm gonna lay it on my fingernail. I'm gonna butt it up to the cuticle. So I kind of just like, without barely touching, I'm gonna butt it up as far to my cuticle as I can. Beforehand, you also wanna make sure you push your cuticles back. So I'm gonna butt it up there, and then I'm just gonna lay it down. So it's on there. It's on there. It's kind of hard to see. And before I start pressing, say that this didn't work and it didn't fit, I can go ahead and pull this right off of my nail. You can typically pull it off right up until you go ahead and set it down and start pressing on it. So again, I'm gonna line it up again, lay it down, and then I'm gonna start pressing. So typically I'm gonna go up through the center. So up through the center and then off to the sides. And I really make sure that I rub down. So I want to make sure that the strip is not going to come up. Then I'm going to go underneath and I'm going to perforate underneath, not at the very tip, but I'm just going to perforate so that way I have a little bit of excess on the edge there, and I'm going to let that cure on there for just a minute. So I'm not going to quite file just yet. What I am going to do is I have a little bit of overhang on this side right here. So I'm going to take my thumb and just kind of pinch that excess off. You can even use one of these and pinch it off with the tip. But again, I will start using these once I get to my thumbnails. So then you're going to take this other side. This is where you're going to pull this little pull tab off. So you're going to pull it off the bottom. There we go. Sometimes I will have like little tiny nail scissors too. So if for some reason I had to cut rather than pull, I could totally do that. But you're gonna do the same thing. So you're gonna line it up with your cuticle. Oh, it's a little, I'm gonna line that up. Then you're gonna lay it down and press. So I'm gonna press it on there, make sure it's on there really well. Another thing that I typically do is I will pull it back too, so that way I can make sure that it's not sitting on top of my cuticle. If it starts to sit on top of your cuticle, typically what will happen is it'll lift from the top of the cuticle then. And I don't want that. So you can pinch this off, or since we're not using the excess on that, you can go ahead and just fold it under for now. And then we'll go ahead and file that off when we get to it. But I also have a little bit of excess on this side. So I'm just gonna take my thumbnail, or you can use the rubber ended cuticle stick, and you can pinch off that little excess right there and then just pull it away. So super simple. And I'll do one more nail. I'll show you one more nail if I can get this excess off me. And then, so I'm gonna pull this away. Then we are going to pull our strip away. Okay. And then we're gonna place it down. Place it down, butt it up to the cuticle as far as we can get. Oh, it's not really butted up to my cuticle as much as I'd like it to be. So I just lifted it up real quick. And do it again. There we go, that's better. I try not to stretch them unless I absolutely have to. You can stretch glitters to fit. Solids I don't recommend stretching, but if you do stretch the nails to fit, just be careful with that, because after a couple days, they will shrink back to whatever size they were. So you can do that occasionally, stretch it to fit your nails, but I don't recommend doing it unless you absolutely have to. So then I'm gonna take this little, and we're gonna get that little tab off. So I can do an entire mani with just 5 strips, because my nails are not too long. Now, if they're really long, then you're gonna have to, if they're really long, then you have to, you may have to use both strips, but you still have a couple extra left over, even if you are using 10 strips, because remember you get 16. You still have a couple left over that you can still do your toenails with too, if you're trying to get a mani and a pedi. So press that down on there. And so I did get this a little bit on my cuticle. I don't know if you guys can see that. So what I'm gonna do from here, this is where this thing can come in handy too, is I am going to push back my cuticle, and what I'm doing is I'm pushing back the actual nail strip 2 away, so that way I'm getting it separated. So I have a little bit of line that separates it, and then I'm just gonna peel that off. So I did get it a little bit on my cuticle. Again, you don't want to get it on your cuticle because you don't want it to lift from the back. So, but you can use your thumbs to do it, or you can use this little guy. And I am showing you, so this is taking a little bit more time than what it typically would take me to do my nails, because I am making sure, and it's a little bit hard to do from that angle. But typically I can get a full set done within about 10 to 15 minutes. So it's really short. There's not a whole lot going on. So then you can either take a Color Street file, or any file that you have. You can use the file that it comes with, or you can use a glass nail file. Glass nail files are said to keep in the keratin in your nails, so that way they stay longer. But when you are filing, just a little tip is make sure to do it lightly. So you want to make sure that you're not pushing too hard, because you're not filing to file, you're just filing to get any excess polish off. So we're going to file that. And typically when I'm doing this and not doing a demo, and I'm doing it right before I go to bed, I will typically put all the, I'll put all 4 fingers on, and then after I put them all on, then I will file them, and then I go and I do my thumbs. So that way you can use this when you get to your thumbs, because you don't want to use your fingers, because again, once you just put them on, they need just a little bit of time to cure to your nails before you start picking things off. So you want to make sure that I would use something like this when you get to your nails, or your thumbnails, so that way you are not damaging the nail strips that you just put on. So give them a little bit of time. So these are the 2 that I have done right now. And we're just, and then I'm going to do the other 3. I won't stay on here and keep up your time, but I will do the other 3. And then again, if you wanted to put a top coat on, you could. If you wanted to use a clear as day, if you wanted to, you don't have to wait any time. So once you apply these, again, they're dry to the touch. You can add that top coat. You can add an overlay if you want to. Any of those things you can do right after applying them. So if you wanted to double up your strips, there's no time that you have to wait in between of doubling them up. So if you have any questions though, feel free to drop them in the comments. I would love to answer any questions that you have, or if there's anything that I may have missed. Otherwise, I think I pretty much covered a lot of things. So I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.